is Alexa Pla, and I am the Assistant Deputy Director of Virtutem Populo, as well as the Project Leader for the Economic Fellowship. Strive305X Virtutem Populo Economic Fellowship is a program run by students for students, aiming to train the future of entrepreneurship in Miami-Dade. Our second episode is titled From Vision to Impact with Dr. Cassandra Arnold. Dr. Cassandra Arnold is the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Office of Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cavas. She holds both a doctorate in education and a master's in business administration with a long track record in leadership, education, and community empowerment. If you would like to say an introduction in your own words.
Well, first off, thank you for having me, Alexa. I am super excited. So I like to say I am a bridge builder, a silo buster, and a lover of all people. Born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, raised in Miami, Florida, went to school throughout. I am a Miami Central grad, so home to the Rockets. Shout out to the Rockets. And then I went to my beloved, forever, Florida A&M University. So I am a diehard Rattler. And I think what got me into service was home. I saw it at home. It was this mantra. It was almost like genetic. You didn't get out until you serve first. So the whole thing was you will never be a blessing. You will never be blessed until you're a blessing to others. So I wanted to be a doctor. Thought I was going to be the Mother Teresa of medicine. And in 3 weeks, the Lord spoke very early. And going from pre-med pharmacy, I landed in business. And the rest is history. Went into corporate America and then got into politics, worked with then Senator Hillary Clinton and so many other elected officials, consulting firm, educational. I did it all, right? Traveled to over 12 Caribbean countries. And now I'm in the office of the mayor for the second time. Right before then, I was in Congress. So I did a stint in Washington, D.C., which I loved. And now I am back in Miami as the Deputy Chief of Staff, overseeing 3 portfolios, which is engagement, resident services, and Black media and Haitian outreach.
Wow, that's...
Oh, and let me not forget, adjunct professor. So I truly am passionate about youth development to the point where I have 2 scholarship funds at FAMU where I fund Black girls going into STEM. So if they're studying science, technology, engineering, and math, and then females of Haitian descent who are studying business alma mater. So for me, I saw as this freshman alums coming back, writing checks for millions of dollars. I'm like, how do I get like them? How do I pay it forward? And at 22 years old, I started a nonprofit and a foundation where I fund girls to go to college. So truly a blessing to be a blessing in return.
That's such an idyllic career. I know so many people that would be like so impressed by you. You were able to turn back to your community after traveling for so long. You went from medicine to business, now to public service.
I know, right?
That's so incredible. How did you end up deciding between these different turning points in your career?
So you know what's so funny? It's so non-traditional where I didn't choose. My husband and I, our family were rooted in our faith, our religion as Christians. So I really let go and let God. I truly, in my journey was, Lord, have your will. Whatever that is, right? I promise you, I thought I was going to be the GYN, pediatric. Like, that was my goal. In high school, I used to intern at North Shore Hospital. Like, I don't know if they still do it. It was like you would leave campus, 5th and 6th period, and then you would go intern or job shadow. And it was literally the labor and delivery unit there. And I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to deliver babies. And that did not turn out. And the blessing is I had parents who truly nurtured and fed me, who said, the world is at your fingertips. What are you going to do? So every day I was told how amazing I was, how talented, how smart, and I believed it. So I thought I was a superhero. They never told me, be a doctor, be a lawyer. They said, be purposeful, be happy. So I did not expect this journey. I didn't even know I could be a doctor in another way. I just thought it was traditional medicine. So I don't know. It's just the universe aligned, God aligned, and also having the perfect network. I call it perfect because it's my village. Having a community that saw so much more in me than I could have ever imagined. So they elevated me for positions, conversations, rooms that I was never in. They elevated me in those spaces.
So what do you recommend to people that don't really have those spaces? Do you have any tips or recommendations for people to really build that network that you're speaking of?
Yes. Find a mentor. Find a village, right? It may not be a formal mentor, but also explore. Be inquisitive. Test it out. Listen, I remember when I left medicine, well, pharmacy because I went to FAMU. Like I said, I first started off pre-med, and then I said, well, let me go into pharmacy. Top in the nation, it was like top 10 in the country, number 1 in the state. And I said, I'm going to be that girl. And my dad allowed me to explore. And like I said, it took 3 weeks, not 3 years to change my major, 3 weeks. But I remember when I changed it, he said, I always knew it was in you to go into business, but I wanted you to see it first. So I think explore, don't be fearful, learn from mistakes if mistakes are going to happen, and just keep learning. I think that's another thing. I'm a sponge. So I get excited about learning something new. So I think that allows you to be open to whatever comes next, whatever discovery happens.
Do you think throughout that process of searching, there's ever been a moment where you've been scared or the path seemed unclear? And how did you make it through that?
So, what's so funny? I've never been scared, but there was a moment where I was not employed, right? And mind you, I'm that hustler, right? I'm that networker, and I didn't even know what networking was until I got to college. You'd say these little fancy words, networking and contacts. I just knew if I wanted Z, I have to go from A all the way to W, Y, and Z. So if I needed a scholarship in high school, I met the CAP advisor. That's what we called them in Miami-Dade. Not sure if that's the same name. I met her. I befriended her. I came to her office. She knew my name. I knew her name. And when it was time for a scholarship, guess what she emailed? That to me was networking. I didn't know it had a word to it. So to always have the access, the resources. I've been working since I was, 15, 16. I've never lacked, if that makes sense. Now I have the immigrant story where my dad did very well in Haiti, but he's from a family that was illiterate. Parents didn't read or write, but he knew his way out of poverty was education. And he became an accountant, and we lived from what I was told, because I was 2 years old at that time when I came to the United States, a middle to upper class. But they came into a country where they had to start all over. Mowing lawns, cleaning houses, to the point where now he has a corporation of over 30 plus years, him and my mom. But that came with a certain grit and ambition. So when I was in a position where I was laid off, didn't know what was next, corporate America's not calling, I'm like, God, well, what is next? And I literally went back into, what is your will? Align your will with my assignment. Whatever that purpose is, I'll follow it. So just getting into that space of where you're just open just allowed me to not be in a funk, but allowed me to say, girl, what's next? What's up on the list? And I think that's what really motivated me, especially after a really bad car accident. I realized that my purpose wasn't done yet.
Wow. I know there's a lot of people like yourself who immigrated here in Miami-Dade, or whose parents immigrated here and they had to build their own foundations. They weren't able to have that provided to them by their family. So what do you have to say about that? I know you've already done a lot of help to young Haitian girls and other people, giving back to your community in that way. Do you want to talk about that?
So I think it's a matter of modeling behavior, right? Some of this is learned. Some of this is, you have to reprogram if you weren't raised in that atmosphere. For me, I had a community, a strong community. And whatever that community looks like, right? It's not traditional for everybody. It's not modern for everybody. So I think for me, it was whatever that community is, flourish and grow, invest and soak whatever you can out of it. There's a community for everybody. It's just like college. There's a group for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're the artsy one, there's a community for you, right? If you're the jock, the athlete, there's a community for you. If you're the sorority, fraternity, there's a community for you too. So I think it's finding your community, wherever that is, and engulfing that community and learning about how do you elevate yourself? How do you keep learning? I think that's what positioned my dad. Coming here. And another thing is he prepared himself to preparation. So while in Haiti, he would take trips here, make sure before my mom and I moved to the United States that he was settled. He knew English prior to, so he was going to college. And then when he came here, he became a student at Miami Dade College. So while trying to build a company from scratch, whilst trying to work, right, full time, and raising 2 kids and a wife, right? Being a husband to a wife, he was still investing in himself. And that was him going back to school.
Wow.
And getting, I think at that time, an associate degree in business. So I think you have to invest in yourself, put yourself first, bet on yourself. Whatever that looks like, bet on yourself.
That's beautiful. So about community, can you tell me a bit about how you found your community here in Miami-Dade?
Oh my
about
God.
How you started working for the government and for the mayor?
You know what? I think we briefly talked about how I didn't know this was a job. I thought civic engagement is what you do as a resident, as a concerned person. I didn't know there was a title, right? And I started literally just wanting to help. So I started off being, I got into the political scene first, where I was helping an organization raise money for causes, but specifically Haitian leaders, right? I just wanted to help. I didn't know there was an executive director role to it. So I got into that official capacity. And then it was just a matter of one thing open to another. It's like a door. One door opens, another one opens. Sometimes you need doors to close too. There's nothing wrong with doors that are closed. Sometimes that leads you to another door. And then from there, of course, started working with other electeds. And then I met the one and only, the incomparable, the mayor, Danielle Levine Cava, right, doing her first run for mayor. And then we just started talking. We started doing different, I think, activities together during that time. Got to know me in that capacity. I was going to D.C., meeting other young, vibrant professionals. And then one thing led to another. And then I was offered the position of Director of Constituent Services. And that was my first stint with the mayor before I went to D.C., became a Deputy Chief of Staff for a member of Congress, and then came back to Miami with my bundle of joy, my miracle baby, Landon, who's 2 going on 22 years old. And now I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff for her. So round 2. And that began 2023, since 2023.
So how did you manage so well your time as a mother, as a worker, how?
You know what? There's a saying that I say, I'd rather be great at a few things than good at many. So I find the things that I pour into. Because if I'm locked and loaded. I am one of those go hard person, like individual, where if I have my name, if I have my blood, sweat, and tears, you're going to get all of me. So I had to realize how I have to create also boundaries, right? I think that comes with adulthood and life and wisdom, that there are certain things I need to put my energy into, because you can't let everything into your space. You know that energy sucker. You know how there's certain spaces and rooms and individuals. So I had to find what is going to invest in Cassandra. What's going to bring Cassandra joy? And trust me, I'm still trying to figure it out, right? It's still a balancing wheel. It's like that hamster wheel. Sometimes I go in circles, right? But eventually, I'm getting closer to what matters to me most. And it's the community, it's the work that I do, which is why I'm still in the office, and it's the love of people.
Wow.
Yep.
So
I'm still working on that. Still working on that.
I think everyone is, honestly.
Yeah, everybody's still working on it.
So tell me about your nonprofit and how you started founding that.
So, like I said, I was 22 years old. I didn't know what a nonprofit was. Didn't know what a 501c3 was. Never heard of it. I just knew I wanted to give money back to young Haitian girls who wanted to go into business. Because the thing is this, in traditional Caribbean households, you get a lot of be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, be a nurse. And I was like, no. What's wrong with being a CFO, a CEO? What's wrong with being a stockbroker, right? What's wrong with going to Wall Street? I did not see faces that looked like me. I didn't see genders that looked like me. Mm-hmm. So when I started working in corporate America, right after college, got a great job in corporate America. I was working for a company called Caterpillar, Global 150, Fortune 100, top dog. And in my class, my marketing class, I was the only Black female. So that's one layer. And then add another layer of Haitian descent. So I said, I got to change that narrative. So I started giving money out to students at FAMU. And someone said, why don't you turn this into a nonprofit where you can get support? And I made some calls, and by myself, the little Haitian girl at 21, 22 years old, started a nonprofit. Did my paperwork, and I got the status of 501c3, which is a non-tax exempt status, within 3 months. Unheard of. So I literally did it purely just to pay it forward. I love FAMU so much that I was like, how do I give back to an institution that has changed my life? And so since then, 2005, 20 years later. 20 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to touch up on about your career and how you got here?
I think it's a matter of, I think for the next generation of leaders is bet on yourself. Show that grit, that hunger, right? And just do it. Find your lane. I was telling you, so there's a fellow alum who went to FAM, and she made a good comment. She said, it's like driving a car. Mm-hmm. If everybody stayed in their lane, we would have less accidents. It doesn't mean I can't get in your lane and help you, right? Or collaborate and partner. But if I'm good at something, stay in that lane that's really good at, right? If this is my specialty, find it, build it, craft it. That's what I've been able to do. I've been able to help others in their lane, but also find my lane and just do it really well. So for me, it's find whatever your passion is. Perfect example, right? If you don't like math, don't go into engineering.
Probably not, no,
Right?
yeah.
That's the best thing. Right? If you're not an avid, maybe writer, or you're not really fond of English and reading, maybe law is not for you, right? But I think we have to have these very open, candid conversations with the next wave of leaders of what are you truly passionate about? What makes you happy?
I feel like a
brings you
lot of
joy?
students nowadays really struggle finding their passion.
Yeah.
So,
And we like to define the passion for you. I think we just need to let you all explore. Guidance, of course. I always say this about my son, because my son is very energetic, very out there. I'm like, you are not 2 years old. Like, I mean, very adventurous, very outgoing. And I was telling my husband, our job is to nurture that, to build it, to mature it. But Landon is going to be Landon. However he is, he's going to be Landon. But I'm going to pour into it. And hopefully some of that direction goes into some little straight path that allows him to be the best version of himself. That's it.
So, as you work alongside the mayor, you're one of the most important people, one of those vital roles here in the Miami-Dade government. So, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned about influence and decision-making?
So one thing about the mayor is she leads with passion and compassion. And she leads with kindness and service. She is a social worker, right, by trade, lawyer, but her heart is always social work, social services. One thing I've seen her do very well in a room is know how to collaborate and bring people together. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are, what your politics are. She finds that common ground. And I think it's such a beautiful thing in times that can be very difficult and polarizing, is that you have a leader who's leading with compassion. She's not leading with numbers and dollar signs, right? She's leading with people in mind. So I've learned the compassion. I've always had it because, like I said, my parents, it was always this thing, you will never be blessed until you're a blessing. So it's always been that compassion, serve. But to see it in political spaces, it reminds me that there are public servants out there, many of us out there, especially in your generation. You're just waiting for that door to open. And if it don't open, run through it. Knock it down. Just do it. Just do it. So I've learned so much from her, how she strategized, how she's able to maneuver and put the right people together, how she's able to look at skill sets up and down, top. And it's just amazing. She's very strategic, a great visionary. But she does it with a heart, which is not always something you see. So something that really makes her stand out, for sure. And she's smart as heck.
She's smart. So tell me about another way that you would give back to the community. Is there any changes that you wish you can make, like right now, if you could? Maybe about the mindset of young people right now.
What I want to see more of is community building. I know it's tough. There's so much going on, which it has made it very difficult for a lot of residents, right? Whether it's cuts that we're seeing, right? Whether it's programs, whatever the issue is, like whatever that matter is, we know there are a lot of communities or individuals that feel like they're hopeless, or that their voice don't matter, or that it doesn't make a difference. And it does. It does. So I just want people to be more civically engaged. Be a part of the conversation, right? Join a group that you're actually passionate about. And that's why we did a Civics Academy at the county. We did it for about 2 or 3 months throughout the county, 5 locations, 2 languages, 2 platforms. We did it in person and online. So find something that you're passionate about, enjoy it, and be a part of it. Speak up. That's what I would say. Speak up.
So I'm sure you know about the Strive305 economic fellowship that we have going on, right? We're basically taking high school students and training them to be the future of Miami-Dade in terms of entrepreneurship and business making. It's a partnership with Manny Sid and the offices of the mayor. So if you could leave one charge to the Strive305 fellows and the young people listening right now, what would it be?
You know, I said it prior to like just not long ago, and it literally is easy. It's Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Whatever that idea is, just do it. Try it. It ain't go. Listen, is a building on fire? No. Are you well? Yes. Anybody sick, dead? No. What's the issue? What's stopping you? The only thing is fear. So whatever that is, be intentional about it. Just do it. You never know what one contract, one person, one client, one business deal, one opportunity can do. It can change your life forever. And not just your life. It can change the life of your kids. Generational, right? Creating community and wealth, economics, right? Just do it. There's nothing to stop you.
It's about like having that incentive within yourself,
yes,
right?
It has to be internal. Listen, it is scary stuff. It's intimidating, even at my level. There are certain things I'm like, ooh, okay. Let me walk into this room, right? Let me make this introduction. Let me talk to this person, right? So trust me, the feelings you have, the bubbles, the anxiousness, the anxiety, the nervousness, that is normal. I still get it at 43 years old. Okay? So just do it. Just do it.
What do you recommend people do to really like get past that step, other than just having that within yourself, that bravery? How would you say?
I think you got to find something stronger than fear. What is your motivation? And then also get in uncomfortable situations. And what I mean by that is, if you have an issue with public speaking, join a public speaking group. Right? You got to challenge yourself. You got to get outside of the standard quo. You got to find something that is going to break whatever that thing is, right? That thing, whatever it is. So if you have an issue with public speaking, join a public speaking group. Oratorical club, whatever it is, right? You got an issue with accounting, like managing your books, right? As a part of building a business, take an accounting class. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta break it, but also you gotta be real with yourself. You know what it is? I think sometimes we tell ourselves these things to hype ourselves up, not really being true to ourselves. Like, I would tell you what's wrong with me, right? I'm very self-reflective. Like, I would say, Cass, that could have been, okay, maybe you can improve in this area by doing this. So I think we just got to sit with ourselves in those uncomfortable spaces and figure out, where do I want to go and what's going to take me there. That's it.
So tell me about where you're going to take yourself. I'm really curious about,
oh my goodness,
what are your thoughts for your own future, you know?
Oh my God, you know what? I know it's going to be amazing wherever it is, or whatever it is.
That's the thing.
Oh, it's going to be the bomb. Thebomb.com. As y'all say, facts, right? Facts, yes. Facts, and facts. I don't know where my next journey will lead me, but I know wherever it is, I'm going to be purposeful. And I'm going to be utilized for all of my talents and expertise and skill set. I do know it is going to allow me to build everything I've learned through the corporate sector, the community, academia, government, etc., to really shift the narrative of Miami-Dade County and abroad. I don't want to just do it here. I want everything I'm doing to trickle over like a domino effect. I really want to change lives, y'all. I really want to impact. When I die, I always say I'm so corny. So this is the corny side of me, right? I would say when I die, as we always say in our faith, the pearly gates of heaven, right? Mm-hmm. I want to hear job well done. And that's it. Job well done. Whatever is next.
I think it's so beautiful to see someone with so much ambition really be where they deserve to be. It's amazing to have spoken with you today.
You too.
And I really appreciate the opportunity. Your story is incredible, going from education, going from healthcare to business, now to public service, giving back to your own community. Everything you've had to say is amazing. I really appreciate what you had to say about having ambition within yourself and taking those strides, believing in yourself and not being afraid to really go where you want to go, opening doors for yourself, and at times letting them close.
Opening doors for yourself. And if they don't open, knock them down.
We love that.
But no, thank you, Alexa. I truly enjoy conversations like that. I love pouring back into the next generation because you are the next. So thank you.
No, and that's why we're doing this, you know. The Economic Fellowship, it's a way to train people to be like you. Yeah. we are giving students the opportunity to be ambitious. We're opening the doors for them
Amazing.
until they have the opportunity to open it for themselves.
Amazing. And don't forget to pay it forward. Always pull someone up while you're climbing that ladder.
Always. I love service, and I hope everyone listening to this has an awakened inside themselves, their passion for service. It's inside of every person, you know? Some people just haven't tapped into it.
Yeah.
So, if you could leave us with one sentence for young leaders, what would it be?
Oh, I think I've said a lot on sentences.
That you have.
I know. Find what you're passionate about. That's it. And I love what you said is find the awakening. There you go. Wake up. There you go. That's my one statement is wake up. Whatever that is, the awakening is, wake up. And because we're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. You have a spot. Trust me, at the table. I always say that's what I wish I had was that more of the pipeline sometimes, you know, where the other generation, right, is creating that pipeline. You have a spot at this table, at least with me and so many others who are in my age group or spaces. So we're ready for you to pull a seat up. You have a spot.
Well, that's perfect. So you guys heard it right here. You have to pull up the seat at the chair and take your spot. Thank you so much for listening to the Strive305 Economic Fellowship Podcast, Episode 2. Stay tuned for more episodes and more speakers with more advice and more planning for all of you.